I platinumed Sackboy after 2 weeks, and this is a really fun platinum.
Oh my fucking god.
But if you thought this was going to be a relaxing, child-friendly game, you are greatly mistaken. Because as cute as it looks, it's definitely not that easy. There is one final trophy that can really make this a struggle. So here are a few tips that can save you countless hours replaying levels and getting stuck, because after this, your skills and experience will be much higher. A quick heads up before we get started, there are a few multiplayer trophies. But don't be too worried about these, as it's possible to either do this with a friend or even solo if you have 2 controllers. I'll explain this more in a bit. Let's get one simple trophy out of the way quickly, and that's to own 300 costume pieces. You can collect these individual pieces throughout your playthrough, but an easy and fun way to get this is to go into the PlayStation Store and download a few costumes. These are often very cute and themed to your favorite PlayStation characters. So download the ones you like, and when you log back into the game, that's the first trophy down. For the other trophies, make sure to complete the story if you haven't already. You will unlock a few miscellaneous and story trophies throughout, but there are a few things you should watch out for when going through this to save you a lot of time having to replay levels again. And it's about a lot of collectibles. Make sure to find as many of the dream orbs as you can, as these are necessary to progress through the story. It's good to know that you don't need to find all of them in each individual level, but 275 are necessary just for the story alone. This means that you don't have to complete every single level in the game, but only the ones necessary for the story and until you reach the required amount to progress. The orbs can be found in levels hidden in various locations, or by completing certain levels and trials in a fast enough time. You will need to find these for other trophies as well, such as getting all the stickers in one of the worlds. Stickers are acquired when you find all the orbs in a level, and you unlock the trophy when you find all of the Dreamer orbs, and thus the stickers in one of the worlds. If you're going for that trophy, attempt it in the Soaring Summit, as that is by far the easiest world. This ties in with another trophy, which is to find all of Gerald's secret spots. Gerald is often hidden away from the main path, so try to look for all of his 9 locations when you can. What you definitely need to focus on, however, is to try and earn the gold score on 50 different levels. This isn't too bad if you focus on this in the earlier levels, because the further along in the story, the harder the levels get. So try and find levels you can easily complete early on and make your way forward. You'll usually earn the gold score if you don't die throughout the level and kill most of the enemies. Try and get the double bubbles whenever you can, because this can really help out. And when you're working on this, it's good to know that you also need to ace 30 levels. This requires you to complete 30 levels without dying. So once again, try the levels in the earlier worlds when attempting this, as those are definitely the easiest. Boss levels count towards this too if you're feeling extra pro. Now let's go over some of those multiplayer related trophies. As I mentioned, you can do these solo if you have a second controller, and if you're playing with a friend or even a random online, you should get these fairly naturally. The first one ties in with the 30 ace levels trophy, but this time it's only for 10 levels and whilst playing in multiplayer mode. Again, all you need to do is not die. So if you're attempting this solo like I did because you're also a lonely gamer, grab your second controller and load into the level together. Use your main controller to pick up player 2 and run to the end of the level. Don't worry, as this won't slow you down or anything. For me, I was able to repeat this on the first level, which made this really easy, but do this 10 times and the trophy will be yours. If you haven't achieved the 30 ace levels yet, you'll be working on this simultaneously as they do stack. Hint tips apply for the trophy where you have to do this on one of the Knitted Night trials. I'll go over these more in depth in a second, but the easiest is definitely the first trial. So simply do this when achieving the gold rank and it's another trophy down. Then there's also one trophy where you have to achieve the best score 20 times when playing in multiplayer mode. If you're actually playing with a friend or random, simply grab more bubbles than them to be number 1. But if you're doing this solo, you can do this while simply starting a level with a second controller and leaving it idle throughout. Just play as normally with your main controller and this shouldn't cause you any issues. And that ties in perfectly with the Capitalist trophy, which is basically unlocked the same way, only this time make sure to pick up a few Collectibles on the way, because this can really be tricky for it to register otherwise. You may also want to look out for the fish, paintbrush and umbrellas when playing through levels. Not only are these necessary for the trophy, they actually do benefit you in gameplay as well. There are 5 umbrellas, 2 fish and 1 paintbrush you need to find, so make sure to pick them up. Now let's quickly blast through 2 easy miscellaneous trophies before we tackle the most difficult trophies. The first one is to hold a bumblebee hive for 60 seconds. This is really easy to achieve if you head into the level having a blast on the Soaring Summit. Simply grab the hive and don't let go for 60 seconds. Make sure to keep moving though, because the bees will continue to spawn. The second one is for completing highs and glows without throwing the whirl tool. You do need to pick it up at the start of the level, but make sure to not throw or use it at all throughout the level. Instead, jump on the jellyfish to make your way through the level. It's very simple but can be a pain if you accidentally throw it because of the muscle memory you developed as a pro gamer. And then we have the most stupidly difficult trophy in all of Craft World. String It Together, where you have to achieve the gold rank on the Knitted Knight's ultimate trial, the Rip Snorter. This is basically a combination race of all of the previous trials you've done, but now stuck together. You need to complete this within 10 minutes, which definitely won't be easy, so let me give you some tips. It's good to know that you can be hit twice on this run, so that gives you some margin for error. But generally speaking, if you get hit within the first 3 minutes or so, just restart. That's what I did because I could feel the anger building if you were to get hit again with so much ground ahead of me. Next, make sure you can finish all of the original trials without dying. If you can't do this regularly yet, there's no point attempting the Rip Snorter as this will only result in you being frustrated when you die several minutes in. Regarding the movement, you may want to try and roll more, or even jump over areas you wouldn't normally. The jump and roll, or basically dash in this case, is a must-know trick. You may want to check out a few of the speedrunners on this game to see how they tackle this run and copy their movement and positioning. The timing of all the obstacles and movement on the map is always the same when you enter a new area, so once you get into the rhythm, you should know what to expect next. When you reach the last part of the trial, it will be an area where there is a lot of potential to win back time. Picking up these stopwatches can take your time back a minute or two. It's definitely worth picking these up, even if you have to go out of the way to get them. Oh, and don't forget to pick up the Dreamer Orbs when you're entering a new area. You definitely don't want to miss those. But mostly, just relax. I know that sounds really cliche and stupid, but it really does work. Like, trust me. Simply don't rush through it, as you'll have more than enough time to finish it in time if you play it slow. If you start rushing through it because you think you're going to be out of time, you'll be frustrated each time you just get hit or fall off the map. Simply relax, put on some music and focus on your run. After several attempts, anyone can do it. It probably took me over 50 tries before I finally got it, but it's well worth the satisfaction you get at the end. Now there are definitely more trophies in the game. However, as I said at the beginning, these are either unlocked naturally through progressing the story or doing a few easy miscellaneous tasks that the trophy already describes perfectly. And if you're having trouble with any of those, it's good to know that there's also PlayStation Plus game help available, which is always great to have. All in all, Sackboy is a super fun game. With a fun gameplay loop and great DualSense support, this really feels like a PlayStation launch game, which I absolutely loved and enjoyed the fuck out of. So if you have any other tips, tricks or questions on how to avoid getting sacked, share them in the comments below. Give this video a like if this was helpful and consider subscribing if you enjoyed this. We're already over halfway to 1,000 subs. And that's it. See ya.